What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another break on this Friday evening. Right now, we have a personal break for Derrick Ebersole. 3 hobby boxes of 2025 DONRUSS baseball. I'm putting the wrong. Let me get that updated in the break title here. All right, there we go. Got that title done there. I'm going to go ahead and get this shared over to the group, get Derrick tagged, and we will go ahead and get started. All right, got Derrick tagged there. Derrick, let me know when you're in. We'll give you a couple of seconds here to hop on in. We will go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. Good luck, Derrick. With I would say, pretty stellar first 3 boxes. So hopefully we can keep that luck up for you. Hopefully we have a really nice case. Empty box number 1 there. Here we go. Got a nice Don Mattingly, Donnie baseball here. That one going to be 49 out of 79. To start us off. Then we've got a rated prospect auto, going to be Blake Burke right behind that on the Donruss Optic. Yeah, Taylor, if you just shoot a message to the Iron Line Breaks page on Facebook, I have access to that so I can get it changed in Shopify for you. That way you're not just commenting your address anywhere. Or you can also message Iron Line Shipping. That one works as well. Whichever is easier for you. Cardboard there. Still looking for 2 more hits out of box number 1 here. In case anybody's interested, we do have breaks of this up on the website as well. Random teams half case. Nice Paul Skeens there. And Kumar Rocker right behind that. We also did just drop the new Topps Chrome UFC. I had a lot of people on Whatnot asking me for that earlier, so we made sure to drop some for everybody. Appreciate that. We're trying. I mean, the first 3 boxes of this were pretty killer. I pulled a crazy card, I think, yesterday in Live Golf. We pulled a 1 of 1 rookie gold bar. Got a Jimmy Rollins there, 27 out of 250. Nice Hagen Smith there. Nice Roman Anthony there. Another cardboard. Got a Kellen Lindsay here. That one's going to be 74 out of 199. Nice one there. All right, last pack of the first half of box number 1. Got a nice Colt Emerson here. 80 out of 99. For the longest time, it was a, got a nice 44 out of 49. Bruce Sutter on the memorabilia there. For the longest time, it was a gold Bo Nix 4 out of 10 downtown. Nice little rookie downtown. I pulled 2 4 out of 10 downtowns back to back in that box. It was either that or I did pull the 1 of 1. Get this box motor. 1 of 1 Barry Sanders explosive out of Absolute Football. However, when we just did our select football breaks, I beat that, and I pulled the Drake May 1 of 1 snapshots. So that has been the biggest card I've pulled while breaking. Been doing it about a year now. There's been lots of memorable ones, but I think that nice Diamond Marvels there. That 1 of 1 Drake May has got to be the biggest. Nice James Wood there. Yeah, it was nuts. I'm not going to lie. I ran out of the room to grab a mag and may have said some words that I could not have said on stream when I pulled that card. Got a Greg Maddux here. That one's going to be 149 out of 149. Legendary pitcher. Really nice bookend there. Trying to think of some of the other ones. That the one I pulled yesterday, I believe, was Brooks Koepka. 1 of 1 gold bar. That one was pretty big. Was talking with Emmett, our other breaker, and we were talking about, we think, at least in our time in Iron Line, and Emmett's been on here over 2 years, it was the first gold bar we've pulled out of Impeccable. We've always pulled silver bars. We got a nice Cash Mayfield auto here on the Optic rated prospect. Pulled a Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels out of 50 dual auto once. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Being from Colorado, I'm not a Denver Broncos fan, but I could see Bo Nix being pretty stellar as well, especially because they're adding some weapons. I'm a huge Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Nice Charlie Condon there. We'll get that one top-loaded. And they stole my favorite tight end, Evan Ingram, and I think he's going to be a deadly combo with Bo Nix, but I could be wrong. Got a nice artist proof here. 6 out of 25, Blake Burke. Go with that auto. Really cool one there with the vintage back. Got a Nick Kurtz on the Optic there. Yeah, I'm a big T-Law fan. That's why I started liking the Jaguars, but he hasn't necessarily performed to his expectations, I think. But I also think some of that is he's had one of the worst organizations to build around. Really nice Diamond Kings, Heston Kierstadt there. Like, Urban Meyer was terrible. I actually liked Doug Peterson. I don't think it was his fault. I think it was more of a front office issue. But now that they've gotten rid of both of those issues, I'm interested to see how they do this season. I think if he still has a lot of problems, then maybe it's time to start having that conversation. Now that the general manager has been removed. Nice. David Ortiz there. 10 out of 15. Love to see a low-numbered Big Poppy. There you go, Derrick. Yeah, 100%. And I'm not saying by any means that, like, Trevor Lawrence has been generational and those are the only reasons. He definitely has his issues, but I think those compound whatever issues he does have. So he hasn't really been given the opportunity, except for the season they almost made the Super Bowl. He hasn't been given the opportunity to really show his full potential. But I will say after this season, I think it might be time to have that conversation. He'll still be my favorite. I loved watching him in college. I was a big Clemson fan. So him and Travis Etienne are my guys, but 175 out of 199 there. Augustin Ramirez. I was so sad too because I went to fan weekend in Jacksonville 2 years ago. Flew all the way out there, and the week before Trevor got injured and didn't play. So I got to watch CJ Beathard be our quarterback, which he killed it. He beat the Panthers in a blowout game, but was not what I was hoping for. Got a nice Chase DeLander here, 22 out of 99 player for the Colorado Rockies. Trying to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars Denver Broncos game this season. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it makes a massive difference. Just because it's a culture thing. Nice Cam Smith there. If you don't have the right culture to foster positivity and interest in your players. All right, let me get this base moved over. We'll hop into box number 2. I'm honestly really excited for this football season. I was joking with someone in my Whatnot show, one of our regulars who's also a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. He was asking me if I was ready for the season. And I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be our season. But as football fans, we say that every year. And especially as Jacksonville Jaguars fans, we're always let down. Although I feel like the benefit of having such a terrible team for so long is that you have low expectations. Like when I became a Jaguars fan, we went like 2-3 straight years of being the worst team in the NFL. So now, if they have a 500 season where they win as many games as they lose, I'm thrilled. That's a good season to me. Nice Jim Rice there. Another Paul Skeens. Well, yeah, Jerry Jones. And I mean, if you want to talk on the baseball side, similar situations, the Monforts with the Rockies, man. The Monforts just do not want to do anything to actually make the Rockies successful, and they're running them into the ground. Nice Paul Skeens there. And a Walter Janik here. That one's going to be 22 out of 49. And speaking of the Rockies here, we have a nice Adiel Amador on the Signature Series Blue Redemption. Actually got to meet him with a couple of the Iron Line folks at Rockies Fest this year. We actually filmed a video where we interviewed him what he thought about having his first rookie cards. That was a really cool experience. So congrats on that one. Blue's going to be out of 149. Yeah, of course, Derek. Hopefully we can get some more bangers for you. Exactly. The owners do. Some owners understand what it means to actually be a good owner. Nice Sebastian Walcott there. Got a nice Leo DeVries there on the Unleashed. I love the Unleashed, but I feel like it would almost be cool if they did different animals for different parallels. Like there was a base animal, and then as you got rare, you got different animals. Got a nice Tommy Troy here, 6 out of 25. Nice one there on the rated prospect. Got Seaver King right behind that. I'm curious to anybody who's watching, because we're talking about the biggest card I pulled earlier. What is the biggest card you own in your PC? Or that you once owned in your PC? I always love hearing stories of cool cards that people either kept or owned at one point. Mine is a Rowdy Piper 1-of-1 Timeless Moments. My pride and joy. Nice Paul Skeens there. Brady House on the marbles. Yeah, they did when they had Blake Bortles. I think that was the closest the Jags have really ever gotten. Nice Lou Gehrig there. And Connor Griffin on the rated prospect here. That one going to be 12 out of 199. All right, let me get this basement over. We'll hop into the second half of box number 2 here. I'm really excited to see them with Travis Hunter this year. As a Colorado native, I'm a big CU Buffs fan. So excited to see what they can do there. Nice Dylan Cruz there. And we've got Franklin Arias here. That one going to be 201 out of 250. Oh, yeah, Mark Brunell. You always forget, too. I mean, I guess maybe not everybody does, but they're such a young franchise, like comparatively to some of the other teams in the league. Like they just celebrated their 30th year. Nice Charlie Condone on the Diamond Marvels. Got a nice Kumar Rocker here. That one going to be 67 out of 149. We got Bryce Eldridge here on the Donruss clearly. Yeah, I believe so. I believe they're the two newest, or two of the newest, if not the newest teams. Nice David Ortiz there, and Roman Anthony. And we've got a Trey Savage auto on the rated prospect optic. Nice one there. Congrats on that one. Got a Takoa Roby here. That one going to be 146 out of 149. And we've got a Braden Montgomery on the Jersey Kings there. Nice little relic. Nice Carson Bengi on the Diamond Kings there. And we got a Paul Skeens here. 32 out of 79. There you go, Derek. Congrats on that one. Hopefully we can get a Skeens auto to go with that. Worst QB to make a Super Bowl? I don't know. The one that comes to mind is not actually the worst. Like, he's my favorite of all time. Nice Jake Bloss there But the season he made the Super Bowl, admittedly, was his worst season, or one of the worst, is Peyton Manning. Like, in my eyes, Peyton Manning is my GOAT. I love Peyton Manning. But he did not have a great season before he made the Super Bowl. He just had a stellar team around him. I don't know the worst quarterback to ever make a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman, that's a good one. Nice the kid there. And a Carson Benge at a 99 on the Unleashed. I would also welcome a Skeens auto. I'm pulling for it. I'm putting it into the universe. All right, let me get these base moved over. We'll hop into box number 3. Crack open another box of top loaders here as well. Bazana would also be good. I would love a Bazana. Really, any of the top prospects. We just need to get you an absolute massive auto. Here we go. Good luck. Empty box there. I would too. That's why I said, like, I know that's a hot take, but overall, I like Peyton Manning more. I think he's the GOAT, but I also get the Tom Brady. I'm not going to go out here and say Tom Brady should not be in that conversation. Got a nice Adam Wainwright there. 1 out of 25. Nice little bookend there. Definitely read that 200 career wins backwards and thought it said Zoo. And I was very confused. I was like, who named their kid Zoo? The nice Adam Wainwright bookend out of 25. This stuff is loaded so far with the low-numbered parallels. I feel like in these 2 personal breaks, we've seen a lot of really nice ones. Got a nice Chase to Lander here. That one going to be 7 out of 49 on the color match. Player for the Rockies. Then we've got an auto right behind that. Ryan Clifford on the rated prospect. 40 out of 49. Nice one there. And I think it's one of those things, too. Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers just had some, like, he didn't get to the level he could have. Nice Jackson Churio there on the Unleashed. Got an Ivan Rodriguez. Nice little pudge there. 114 out of 149. Yeah, I think he had some stellar support around him. I'm interested to see how he plays for the Steelers this year. Is he going to come back and pull a Tom Brady and just dominate, or is he going to fade into, I wouldn't say obscura, but not have a stellar end to his career? I think he's motivated enough or determined enough. I think it just depends on who he has around him and if he gets along with them. I know he keeps a tight ship, and sometimes that rubs some of his players' feathers the wrong way. Cardboard there. Got a nice Dylan Cruz here on the rated rookie. That one going to be 61 out of 149. Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, that's just the Jets organization. Not bashing them if anybody watching is a Jets fan. Never want to make anybody feel like I'm just talking. Ooh, that's one of my PCs there. Nice. Sammy Sosa, 106 out of 250. Like Aaron Rodgers, another controversial figure in sports. The Jets have just had a terrible luck lately. I mean, they kind of mirror the Jacksonville Jaguars in their coaching, front office problems. Nice James Wood memorabilia there. I've got a funny story about Aaron Rodgers and his injury, and I always feel terrible about it. My old boss, when I worked at a different place, was a huge Jets fan. And we were joking around getting these base moved over. And I told him, we were like playfully trash talking, and I said, I hope Aaron Rodgers breaks his leg. Like, as a joke, not thinking anything of it. And then the game starts like an hour later, and he comes out and blows his ACL right away, and I felt terrible. I was like, I didn't mean to actually put that into the universe. Nice Aaron Judge there. And a nice Kellen Lindsey here on the red. That one's going to be 32 out of 99. And we've got a nice Caleb Lomavita there on the Donruss clearly. And we've got a Brody Brecht auto here. Nice one for the Rockies. Yeah, like why waste talent you have, especially when you don't have that much of it? Not saying that the Jets didn't have like, but they weren't stacked. Brees just kind of got wasted. I wonder sometimes, though, if coaches do that because they assume those players will be targeted more because everybody knows about their stellar abilities. Because I know, at least I've noticed that with previous coaches with the Jacksonville Jaguars, is like Travis Etienne does not get a lot of run time because he's always getting tackled if he does. 195 out of 199 at Kyle Teal there. Like everybody knows that he's going to be the one targeted with the ball. So he's always very well guarded. Nice Luis Baez there. And we've got a debut dominant. Paul Skeens there. Really nice insert. Nice Owen Casey here for the Cubs. That one going to be 67 out of 199. All right, just a couple more packs here. We hop into our recap. Appreciate you grabbing these boxes, Derek. Always fun to do personal ribs. Nice. Dave Shields here, 175 out of 199. Yeah, ETN's had some problems. I mean, he was out his whole rookie year due to injury. And we've got a nice Colt Keith here. 38 out of 49. There we go. Nice Blake Burke there. All right, let me get these base moved over. Get that Blake Burke sleeved up, moved over, and we will hop into our recap. Here we go with our recap for you. Got the Colt Keith out of 49 there. David Shields out of 199. Brody Brecht on the auto. James Wood on the rookie memorabilia. Chase DeLander out of 49. Ryan Clifford out of 49 on the auto. Got an Adam Wainwright there. That one going to be 1 out of 25. Carson Benke there out of 99. Paul Skeens out of 79 on the pink lasers. Got the Braden Montgomery Jersey Kings there. Trey Savage auto there on the rated prospects. This one going to be 6 out of 25. Tommy Troy. Leo DeVries on the Unleashed. Adael Amador on the Blue Signature Series Redemption there. Walter Janik there out of 49. David Ortiz out of 15. 10 out of 15 on that one. Blake Burke, Artist Proof out of 25. Cash Mayfield there on the auto. Bruce Sutter there, 44 out of 49. Blake Burke for the auto. And then we've got the Don Mattingly out of 79. All right, that's going to do it for this personal break. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on with me. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. We'll see you in the next one.